Hey, welcome everybody. Mark Comfort here, and my wife Mimi and I own Cruise Holidays. I'm so excited to do this webinar tonight because this webinar is to let you know that river cruising is starting. River cruising is opening up, and we've got Marcy New with AmaWaterways here to share with us about what AmaWaterways is doing. I think this webinar will really answer a lot of your questions as to what you have, but you know, if it creates questions, please let us know. There's a chat box in there. You can type things in. If we have time, we'll get to that. If not, send me an email, or if you have an existing vacation counselor, send that to her, and we will get back to you with answers. I personally am doing, I'm so excited about this. I've got a group going, a hosted group that I'm hosting the end of September for the first week of October to Bordeaux. And if you want to go to France with me and drink some good wine and see some incredible scenery and culture and food, please look at this when we send it to you. One thing I want to do is a lot of things that you'll hear tonight, and especially on these groups that you will see. You can go to our website, cruiseholidayskc.com/groups, click on whichever group you're most interested in, and the flyer that we used to mail out to everybody, the flyer will now pop up in that format, and you can print it out if you're interested. We'd love to have you go with us. I personally think hosted cruising will be very, very popular next year. Now, the other thing I know for sure, based on what I've seen and what I've heard, is smaller is going to be better. We've had tremendous bookings for all sorts of vacations. And in every segment, whether it's all inclusive, and by the way, I don't know if you can see my tan, but I just got back from Cancun on Saturday night to celebrate my birthday on Sunday with my family. And my point very simply is all inclusive, ocean cruises, river cruises, smaller is what the consumer is wanting. Fewer people to put it simply. But there's something for everybody out there. I just think river cruising is going to be very, very popular. The one thing I do want you to hear, and Marcy and I will make this very, very clear as we go through this, this is so exciting that river cruising is starting up as early July, and will go throughout the summer and fall and into the Christmas markets in November, December. And there will be some values, some really good deals this year. I would not be looking or expecting to find good deals in 2022 or 2023. So many people have gotten their vacations postponed, but they took the future cruise credit, and they're going to go in 2022 in many cases. So as you hear in what we have to say today, and if you are comfortable, which I sure am, going in 2021, I'd really encourage you to do so, because there's some great values that we're going to show you today. So I'm just so excited. Maybe the last thing I want to say, and I was going to say this at the end, but I will say it now. The pent-up demand is like I've never seen before. Marcy will talk to you about some of her Ama's booking successes, and I will tell you ours as owner of this company, along with my wife Mimi, for 32 years. We had the best April we've ever had in 32 years, and we came within just a few $1,000s of having the best May we've ever had in bookings in this past May. So lots of things are happening. The pent-up demand is greater than I've ever seen it. And literally, you guys, to prove that is a fact, Mimi and I flew down to Cancun on Sunday, May 23rd, and we got into Cancun, and it was crazy, busy, crazy. We found out later that night that Cancun had the biggest single-day arrivals in Cancun since the pandemic hit 14 months ago. Over 400 planes landed in Cancun on that day, September 23rd. We're going to see that throughout this summer and fall in Europe. I think everybody realizes through the airlines, through the river cruise companies, that there are some great values out there. So we want to walk you through this, okay? The other thing I want to say more than anything is, gosh, if you're the type of person that loves to book things direct or book things with Expedia or Costco or online, I would really ask you to rethink that planning decision. There's never ever been a time in our 32 years that I've seen it more and more important to use professional vacation specialists like us who know what's going on. And there's so much going on, and there's great risk to you out there. We've tried to put out a lot of fires. People have had many as early, or one as early as today, that people that did it on their own made some mistakes and they didn't know all the rules, all the policies. And these policies are changing. They're literally changing monthly, sometimes weekly. My staff might tell you daily. So, matter of fact, Marcy just told me we're going to hear some changes, positive changes from the European Union tomorrow. But yes. With that said, Marcy knew our wonderful representative from AmaWaterways. Marcy calls on us from AmaWaterways and helps keep us in the being knowledgeable and aware of all the changes, all the things that are coming up, which ships are opening up, how full they will be, what the protocols will be. And I think it's important that you hear all this. Okay, so Marcy, can I say take it away, and welcome, by the way. Is that your AmaWaterways scarf?
It is my AmaWaterways scarf, and I'll tell you, even though it's summertime, it's quite nice to have it on because it's a little cool here in the Midwest. But
I'm wearing this vest right now. Let's say I got to stand up here that says Royal Family to the Seine River a few years ago, and same thing. So I'm really excited about it too. I've been on a lot of AmaWaterways cruises, as you know, to almost every river. So we know the rivers, and we know the river cruise industry, and we know AmaWaterways better than anybody. And Mimi and I personally, as our whole staff, absolutely we love to put our guests and ourselves on AmaWaterways because we trust you, Marcy, and your wonderful staff on the seriously back in your headquarters in California or on all of your ships to take care of our guests phenomenally well, as you have done for so many years. So take it away.
Thank you so much, Mark, and thanks for those wonderful, kind words. We have, almost a 99% customer satisfaction rate at AmaWaterways. So we work hard to achieve the goals and make sure that the vacation is seamless and to make sure that the value is there. So what I want to do is I want to talk a little bit this evening about river cruising overall and what's included in the packaging, and we'll go from there. But you see here, it says the heart of the river. One thing very, very special to AmaWaterways and very important for you to know is we only do river cruising. And why is that important to you as a guest? It's because we put all of our focus on one thing, and that's the river. We don't do ocean, we don't do, we have some pre and post land programs, but we don't do ocean and we don't do anything else. So we're able to really focus on the river, focus on the build of our ships so it's different than anyone else and a better experience, and really focus on immersing yourself in the local cultures with the local people. So I am so excited. It was like the best birthday gift I could ever have because my birthday's in May. So we announced last Friday that we will start service and on and in all of the different rivers. So here you've got, if you are on with us and maybe you're already booked or you're thinking about booking in the next 2 months or 3 months, this might answer some of your questions. So we are on the Duro, July 3rd, with a second ship entering July 27th. We've got France that's opening up July 22nd on the Seine and the Rhone, and the Dolce in Bordeaux on the 29th. And then we've got the Danube, and we are putting the beautiful Ama Magna out there first, which I think is such a wonderful opportunity. The Ama Magna, for those of you who are not familiar, is our ship that's double the width of any other river ship. So it has a few more options. Then we've got the Amalea on the Danube, the Certo, the Bella, and the Bella is going to do gems of Southeast Europe. So these others will be doing the upper Danube, if you will. The Bella will be doing the lower Danube. The Ama Verde, which is a brand new ship we've been rebuilding during COVID, the Ama Viola, and then the Ama Sonata. And then we start on the Rhine, and we start on the Rhine July 29. The Sienna, the Mora, then the Ama Serena, which does the Rhine and Swiss Alps. This is an itinerary that would also include for you Italy. So if you want to go to Italy, this is a beautiful itinerary for you. And then the Ama Lucia does Delights, and this is going to cover the Mosul River right on down the Rhine. And then we've got the Ama Prima, which includes also the Mosul River going over onto the Danube. So we're really excited that we are able to bring out almost the whole fleet by September 11. And I want to tell you about the protocols that we have in place. So most important, we are the only river line that operated during COVID. We operated from July 5th of last year through the first week of November. We chartered our vessel to a German tour operator. He carried over 1,700 guests. We had absolutely no incidents, none whatsoever. We're very, very proud of that. But the other thing is that it really gave us an opportunity to perfect the protocols. And so indeed we did that. So our face coverings currently, now let me tell you, everything is changing at the moment. As Mark mentioned, we've got the EU making some very, very big announcements tomorrow. And that is, what do we know? We don't know. But when some of the countries are going to be opening up, what the protocols in the country are going to be, how many people, because currently we can only carry 75% of our capacity, which is about 100 guests only. And so we will find out a bunch of this tomorrow. So this is really a fluid environment. It's changing every single day, and you need not worry. We are changing every single day with it. So if you were to go and need to come back and have a shot to get back in the US, we'll take care of it. Whether you're doing the hotel package or you're on the ship, we'll take care of it. Nothing for you to worry about. We've already arranged all of that. But the face coverings will be worn by our crew members currently all the time. Our guests will only have to wear them from point A to point B. So in the morning when you're leaving your stateroom, currently, you would have your mask on. We'll do a temperature check as you leave your stateroom. You go to the restaurant, you take your mask off. You walk in the hallway, you go to the lounge area, you take your mask off. You walk outside to go on a tour, you take your mask off. So to give you an idea, the tour operator that we contracted with on the Rhine during COVID had his mask on an average of 14 minutes a day. So it is not a big deal. And hopefully, as we're seeing the months ahead, this won't even be a requirement. The other thing we have on these ships, very important, is the clean air system. And what this means to you as a guest is very important. Every single stateroom, every single hallway, lounge area, library, restaurant, whatever it is, has its own air system. So what it's doing in your stateroom is pulling air from the outdoors, cycling it through your stateroom and sending it straight back outside. So it's not going to the stateroom next to you, to the hallway, to whomever. And I truly believe this is one of the reasons we were able to operate no incidents at all for those 5 months that we operated. So very important for you to know. Exploring ashore, and I've got a slide on this, but we are taking even smaller groups than we did before. And we always had almost the smallest groups on the river anyway. Social distancing is not a problem, and that's part of the protocol of only boarding 75% of the guests, and sanitizing the luggage. So when the luggage arrives at the ship, we sanitize the luggage, and before it is delivered to the stateroom, we sanitize it again. And again, I will mention we had absolutely no incidents through that time period that we traveled. We are a family-owned and operated company founded in 2002 by 3 families. Our 3 families are still very involved with us, but we kind of consolidated, and 2 families became 1 family, which is a beautiful thing. Rudy, our wonderful president and co-founder, and Christine decided they would get married and become 1 family. So we started as 3 families, now we're 2 families, and it's an amazing, wonderful company for that. We also have the Murphy family, and the Murphy family used to own a very large tour operator here in the US, traveling back and forth to Europe. So they really gave us a lot of the knowledge that we needed on packaging the programs on the rivers. And I think the most important part is for you to know as a guest is we make our decisions quickly and we make them in the best interest of our guests. I wanted to show you the rivers that we cover. We won't spend a lot of time on these, but I'll just point them out. This is the Danube, which is the longest, largest river in Western Europe. This river has more embarkation, more debarkation ports because of the length of the river. This river offers you a 14-day consecutive sailing, where the other rivers, we just take 2 7-day sailings and match them up. The topography of this river is very beautiful. It's very mountainous. It's very lush. It has some castles, but it has also palaces. And it has some beautiful war history, if that's what you're interested in. Then we come over here and we have the Rhine River. And the Rhine River runs up very close to the Be First. And it takes you from Switzerland up to the Netherlands, or the beautiful floating country of the Netherlands, or vice versa. And I will tell you, on the river, it really doesn't matter which direction you go, because it's a river. You can see the banks at all times. You don't have high winds. These are located down in the valleys of these mountainous regions, so not to worry. But this river is noted for its castles. We go through an area called the Rhine Gorge that has 26 castles and history. So if that's something that you're interested in, this would be a beautiful one for you. Then we come over here to Luxembourg, where we come over to the Mosul River. And the Mosul, as you can see, is a very short river. She's quite a lady. She's very windy, bending, very narrow, very, very beautiful. I say the Mosul River reminds me of something you would see in a Disney book. You look down at the beautiful little village along the water's edge, brightly colored, and then you look up to the magnificence of a castle structure that has been there for 1,000 years and is still operable. I mean, it's an amazing little river. But because it is so short, we combine it with the Main Canal and the Rhine, or the Main Canal and the Danube, being able to offer you 7, 10, and 11-day sailings. Then we come over here and we have the beautiful Seine River. I know Mark mentioned that just a minute ago. And the Seine River is known as the river of the arts. It is, we visit Monet's home, Monet's gardens. You've got a little Van Gogh influence in this area. And one of the most important things we do on this itinerary are the beaches of Normandy, with a private tour for our guests. And then you come down here and you have Bordeaux. And this is an awesome area, especially because you can bike between these little villages if that's what you like to do. But it is a beautiful area, and you can also extend to Spain on this one, which is what Mark is doing this fall. Beautiful chateaus, beautiful, beautiful topography, and wonderful wines, beautiful gastronomy area. Then you come down here and you have the Duro. And the Duro is quite different than many of the other rivers, in that the Duro was actually made, if you will, 2,000 years ago with the explosions of a volcano. So it is very, very steep. It is the only river in Europe that we don't offer bicycles, because literally you would have to push it all the way uphill and hang on to it when you're walking back. So we don't on that river, but a beautiful area. This is where some of the finest port wines in the world come from. And this area is also known for cork, shoemaking, jewelry, all kinds of different things. And then we come over here to the Rhone. The Rhone and the Saône, beautiful river. Started a new itinerary this year on the Saône. But the Rhone, we go from Arles to Lyon, or in reverse, so we go upstream or downstream on this. You can also include Spain. And we are this year including the opportunity to go up the beautiful Saône River. And the Saône River, the Rhone River is very masculine. The Saône River at Lyon is very feminine. It's a lady river, very small, narrow, no industry, just beautiful villages that line the waterway. And this area overall is known as the Côte du Rhône region, one of the finest regions in the world for gastronomy. And then you can also go over to Switzerland and visit while you're there. And then I'm going to touch base on Egypt a little bit down the road. So Asia, we did make a change in Asia this year, and we do Vietnam, Cambodia, and Thailand. So I don't know if you're familiar, but we go to one of the 7 wonders of the world in this beautiful, beautiful little city called Siem Reap, and it's known as Angkor Wat. Please, if this is not on your bucket list, I'm going to ask you to add it to your bucket list, and do it sooner than later. You need a little bit of mobility on this itinerary. And then we do Africa, and not many people think about river and Africa. And a lot of it is because we see National Geographic or PBS television, and everybody's doing a game drive by land. Well, we do those too, But we take you for 4 nights, 5 days on the beautiful Chobe River. It's a 5,000-acre conservatory for the preservation of the African elephant. A magnificent place to see every single kind of animal you can even imagine, up close and personal. Then we take you over here to Victoria Falls for 2 nights, 3 days. And again, that's one of the 7 wonders of the world. And then you disperse from there to the Serengeti or to Kruger National Park or whatever you'd like to do. We have lots of itineraries. So one of the things very important, and Mark and I often talk about this, and that is that your vacation dollars are an investment. We know how important they are. We know how hard everyone works for it, and especially over the past 2 years when we haven't been able to vacation, or maybe you were going to vacation, you said in 2019, we're going to go in 2020. Well, then 2020 came, you couldn't go then. So now we're to 2021. We pay for our ships in cash. We are a debt-free company. So I want you to know and always feel comfortable with making your investment, both with Cruise Holidays, one of our very, very valued partners, as well as AmaWaterways. We are here and we are going to be here for many, many more years to come. So your investment is very safe with us. I wanted to give you an idea of kind of what sets us apart, and that is, here's a French balconied stateroom. Depending upon the ship, some of the ships, the 110-meter ships, only have the French balconied staterooms, and then they have suites. This is going to be the 135-meter staterooms, and these are known as twin balconies. So you have a French balcony in the same stateroom that you have a step-out balcony, which is wonderful because here you can be out of the elements. Here you can go out into the elements, and you can close the door behind you to really secure the temperature in your stateroom. And this, we are the only ones on the rivers that have adjoining or connecting staterooms. Disney came to us in 2014 and said, we want to introduce river cruising to the multi-generations of families. And we said, oh goodness, there's no one on the river. They chose us because we have the #1 rated ships in Europe, which we were very blessed for. And we figured out, Rudy figured out that he was going to have to redesign the ships for some of these staterooms to accommodate triples and quads. So we have 12 adjoining staterooms on these ships, and we can accommodate triples and quads. We're the only ones on the river that can do that. And then you've got your suites up here. Personalized small groups. This is very, very important. We have some river lines out there that will take up to 60 people per group. We have always only taken about 20 to 22. Now with everything with COVID, we're taking 12 to 14. Why is this important? This is #1 very important, I think, and it's because you really get to know your guides very personally. They are all from this area. They are a wealth of knowledge. They will share with you their childhood stories. They'll tell you about the stones you're walking on in the street that are 1,000 years old. It is very important. And the other thing that we do at AMA is we break it down by activity level. So we've got gentle, regular, and active walkers. So if you want to lay back and relax one day and just go gentle, fantastic. The next day you might want to go active. That's great. It's going to enable everyone to have that personal touch with a guide, going at your own pace, going at your own speed, and learning the history of all of these beautiful villages and cities. And we have active adventures, and it should be a test. I said one river we didn't have bicycles on. Does anybody remember? I bet you do. It's on the Duro. Other than that, all of the other rivers in Europe, we have 25 7-speed bicycles. We have 21 bicycling tours, or you can sign a bicycle out and go on your own tour. So it really just depends on what you want to do and what you like. I think it's a wonderful, fun way. If you haven't been on a bike in 5 years, just meet with the cruise manager and they'll tell you which one might be the best for you. But the beautiful part about Europe too is many of these bike trails are flat. So you're not necessarily hiking up a hill. The other thing we do are special interest tours, and these are going to involve a culinary experience. So it might be a pretzel making and baking class. It might be truffle hunting in France. It might be torte making and tasting. It might be a beer and pancake tasting in Germany. Oh my gosh, wine tastings. There's all different things that revolve around culinary themed experiences. And keeping in mind, we have up to 6 tours a day, and these are in addition to those, and there's no cost to any of them. where I think if you really were to check around, Ama is really one of the only ones on the rivers where everything is included. The other thing, I love this picture because this is the Lonstein Castle, which is absolutely magnificent. This is the Lonstein Castle, excuse me, in Lonstein, Germany. We are the only river line that actually visit this castle. And depending upon which itinerary you're on, sometimes we visit it at night by torches. So it's like you really get that medieval experience. It is amazing. It's amazing in the day or at night. But we have picked and chosen at AMA some very special things for our guests, and we're the only ones that are offering these different things. And so we go to Abbey and Spitz, and Spitz, Austria is really amazing as well. The occupancy of Spitz, Austria, I think is only 70 people, and I think they all work at the vineyard. But just another one of those special things that we do at AMA. And then in 2022, if you are a flower lover, a gardener, or you just like to sit back and look at the beauty of nature, this is something for you. This takes place right outside in a village called Almere, outside of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. This comes every 10 years. It is the largest horticultural expo in the world. And we have tickets for you. So if any of our itineraries include Amsterdam that you're on, you will have passage to do this. But there's something really fun that we do also that no one else does in the Netherlands, and I love it. And that is, I don't know if you realize it, but these are actually people's homes. They're not just a windmill for, for creating energy or, their crops or whatever it is. These are actually people's homes. And we go in and we do a cheese and beer tasting. This area of the world has beautiful wines too, but their beers, and they are known for their cheese globally. And so I'm going to tell you, I order cheese from this beautiful company right outside Amsterdam about 5 times a year. It's absolutely amazing. But you really get to experience the local culture when you're visiting in someone's home. And then we have the secrets of Egypt and the Nile. This is new for us this year, and we will be starting service in September. We are on schedule with the beautiful Amadelia ship, so we are very, very excited about that. If Egypt is intriguing to you, please sit down, take a few minutes, visit with your counselor, your advisor, and they can direct you in all of the wonderful things that this itinerary offers. Because you have the opportunity when you are visiting Egypt on the Nile to do some extra pre and post packages. And one of them is Israel, Jordan, and Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. And I just always say, if you are going to go that far, just spend as many days as you possibly can, because I've been to those areas and you don't want to miss them. But we take you into Cairo and the Giza area. We visit the temples and the pyramids here. We fly you to Luxor. You go down on the Nile. Then you're going to have another option from Aswan to Abu Simbel, which is some of the oldest findings in Egypt. And then you come back up, then we bring you back to Cairo, and we have a very, very special day on your last day in Egypt scheduled for you, which would be, just so you know, a private luncheon at the presidential palace. So a really unique opportunity as well. And then we've got the solo traveler program. Right now, this has been extended through the end of June, and it is available on our balcony cabins through 2021. And then we have 125% in the cabin category D and E, all through 22 and 23. So if you are that single traveler, we love you. You're not going to be by yourself ever. I have many solo travelers that come back and they feel like they have a second family. So please note that if you're a single traveler, we invite you aboard. And the flexibility and peace of mind with AMA is our insurance program. So we have an insurance program that says to you, your investment is always protected. And that's the Ultimate Cruise Flexibility program. And that is that up to any point in time, I think it's 48 hours before you go, if you have to change, then you can change your cruise portion. Now, if you've booked land or booked air, I want you to purchase the Travel Waiver Plus. The Travel Waiver Plus, if you don't have our big insurance package, is $175, which is minimal. and it protects everything. Your air penalties, your land penalties, and your cruise portion. And we're going to put that in a future cruise credit for you, and you can move it until the end of 2023. And then we have the big insurance plan. And the reason you would purchase this one is because if you felt like there might be a situation where you just can't go at all. But I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to go in planning this beautiful vacation and think I might not get to go at all, because the world is opening up and we're so excited about it at Alma. So Cruise Holidays at Kansas City has some really wonderful things going on. We have a 2-for-1 offer for attending tonight on the flavors of Portugal and Spain, August 31st, 2021 through September 7th. And I have to tell you something, to be very honest, I have never seen that river with a promotion. And the reason is because the ships are smaller and they only accommodate 100 people. So we'll only have about 70 people on board, and they're so popular. So if this is something you're looking at, now is the time to jump on it. We have airfare as well. And then we have some others. There's about 5 or 6 others on different rivers that we have that we're offering the 2-for-1 through 2021, all the way through the end of the year. So if maybe you're not able to make Portugal and Spain, but you're looking at something different, please call Cruise Holidays. And then, of course, in the first 5 reservations, which usually we get many more than that, I'm going to send you a beautiful Berlitz River Guide that's going to show you every single city, every single river, everything there is to see and do, all of the attractions, their currency. It's a beautiful guide. And then I want to turn it back over to Mark and let Mark tell you all about what he's got going on for this fall, next summer, and next fall.
I will do that. And before I start on this, I did take a group on the Duro River, what you just showed there, Marcy, with that 2-for-1. And the savings on that, to your point, is unparalleled. Because that Duro River is so incredibly popular, so many people in the world want to go to that part of the world because that's one of the last places in Europe they go to. And so they go to it in huge numbers that, oh my gosh, my whole group and I were so impressed with this. So again, I told you earlier, I do a lot of hosted groups, and this Taste of Bordeaux that I'm doing, that's this September. This is 2021. And when Marcy called me and said they're opening up in July, the first thing I said is, Bordeaux opening? Is Bordeaux opening? And she said, yes, it'll be opening. So, and again, by the way, you go to our website, cruiseholidayskc.com/groups, and you can find all the details. And you click on any one of these, and you will get the flyer and all the detailed information. Because our group rates, we're doing what we call partial charters on these that are a little bit less than what the regular rate you could get elsewhere or through us. Okay, so the Taste of Bordeaux. The river cruise itself is September 30th through October 6th. If you're interested, I am going to lead a group of about a third, maybe half of our people. We've got almost 60 people going on this, so it's a great way to meet a lot of cool people from the Midwest. Really great group of people. We're going into Bilbao, Spain on September 26th, spending 2 nights there, and then going on to San Sebastian, spending 2 nights there before we meet up with the ship in Bordeaux on September 30th. And by the way, this is going to be a private transportation just for my group. So I love that part of it. And I've been to Bilbao. I've not been to San Sebastian, but I hear it is spectacular. So really, really looking forward to that. Hey, then, unfortunately, this was one of the groups that got postponed, Paris and Normandy. And I want to tell you, I did this before with AmaWaterways, and I don't know you all. The whole river is spectacular, but Normandy is the part that everybody will remember most, and most people book this itinerary because of Normandy. We went there on D-Day, June 6th, and it was honestly, it was spectacular. I don't know if I've ever felt more patriotic in my whole life. The only thing was, because of all the festivities, it was really, really, really crowded. I mean, we Americans were tunnel visions. We think, it's just Americans that are going to go there and celebrate the day and the victory and the fact that France and the rest of Europe is not speaking German. And the reality is, the whole world, the Allies, all come there. All I mean, everybody. It's just so popular, so popular. So being a couple, maybe in this case, 10 days after I think this might be the 79th anniversary of D-Day. Oh my gosh, it's such a memorable experience. The whole thing is. And then we've got some time in Paris. I like to go in beforehand and see. Usually fly into a big city like Paris, so we're going to fly into Paris there and spend a couple nights there. And we can customize all this for you before and after the river cruise. We do that all the time for people. And we handle, if you've got a group of people or family or friends from all over the country, we can get it set up. We can handle your air and get you all set up to fly over together, or whatever it is that you would like us to do. We'll get you all on the same cruise. Now, the gems of Southeast Europe, I got to tell you, Marcy was talking about the Ama Magna earlier, that twice as wide as the regular river cruise ships. You all have probably heard that the river cruise ships are, the size of the river cruise ships are all regulated based on the size of the locks, the smallest lock on that river, or the rivers that these river cruises go on. Well, on the area of the Danube that the Ama Magna goes on, their locks are wider, so they can get that beautiful, fabulous, spectacular, unbelievable ships with so many more options on it. And oh my gosh, it was just incredible. Well, on that cruise, we spent our kids' inheritance. We had a mini suite on that, and we had a butler. And our butler was from Romania, and his assistant was from Serbia. It was fun to listen to those two. Like we talk about Missouri and Kansas in this area. But they got me so excited about, and Mimi too, about the mountainous, beautiful, spectacular terrain and the history that most Americans don't know anything about the history in this part of Europe. So I got to tell you, I hadn't been real interested in this. I've had a lot of my clients say, Mark, when are you going to host a trip on the lower Danube? And so anyway, that butler and his assistant got us so excited. We just said, let's do this. And we were going to do it last year, and it got postponed again. But honestly, the timing is so perfect because we've cruised a lot in October. And I personally think, depending on the month or depending on where you're going, but I love October. I love traveling in October. And if we're lucky, we're liable to see some fall color changes in addition to having very, very good weather. But, oh, my gosh, and by the way, those people, the Romanians, the Serbians, the Eastern Europeans are primarily the heritage of the people that serve on the ships that you go on with AmaWaterways. And they're such very, very, very incredibly educated, knowledgeable, well-versed, friendly, and incredibly service-oriented, too, obviously. That's why AmaWaterways has the highest satisfaction rate of any river cruise lines. That's why we use AmaWaterways so much, because we know they're going to take care of you. So if you're interested in that Gems of Southeast Europe, and then, by the way, we're going to go afterwards for 4 nights into Transylvania, where Dracula's castle is, and find out all about that area and see if we can learn the legend and the myth of Dracula. So, which I've already learned a lot about, which is really cool. I love researching, the places where we go. So any one of these 3 opportunities, 2 or 3 of them, you can join me. When we say royal family, if you look on the bottom, royal family is when Mimi and I host the trip together. And we always do some very, very, we either do 1 or 2 surprises for you that we will not tell you about. And I've been working with Marcy and her crew at their headquarters about what those private surprises will be, but you'll love them, and you won't be able to get that on any other trip. So anyway, with that said, these are the 3 hosted trips this year in September, early October actually, next year in June, Paris and Normandy. Gosh, that's such a cool one. And then the Gems of Southeast Europe for those people maybe that have heritage from that area or have done a lot of the rivers and want to try the lower Danube. By the way, that picture right in front of us is Budapest, the Parliament of Budapest, on the Gems of Southeast Europe. And there is not a more beautiful sight, in my opinion, and most every expert agrees, from the river than that unbelievable Parliament building there in Budapest. And with that said, Okay, Marcy, I did that. What's the next slide? I think you have control of that.
That's okay. The rivers and wine continue to flow, and AmaWaterways is ready to go. That's what I always say. And we're going. Yay. It was the greatest news ever. There's a couple of things that I wanted to point out, Mark, also is Mark belongs to a very exclusive buying group. And so he has got special pricing. If you don't find something in what we discussed tonight, or, maybe you're talking with an advisor, they have some other sailings that have some really amazing pricing as well. So if what you've seen doesn't work, don't give up. Please call and let them be your legs, because I'll tell you, their value today, I can't even put a price on the value of the advisors today. And the wonderful thing about Cruise Holidays and Mark and Mimi is they have really made investments in their people, and their people know what's going to be best for you. They're not going to mismatch you with a wrong vacation, a wrong ship, a wrong itinerary, a wrong brand. So there's a lot of importance there when you're looking at your vacation dollars. So does anybody have any questions? I don't have any questions.
Mark,
yeah.
While we are waiting to see if anybody types in anything, I'd like to say it's been my distinct pleasure being in this business for 32 years. I've gotten to know the three owners of AmaWaterways, Rudy, Christine, and Gary Murphy. Matter of fact, Gary Murphy actually texted me on my birthday. How many owners of companies text you on your birthday to say happy birthday? And they are some of the finest people I've ever met, and they have my humble opinion. That's why Mimi and I just love working with. The best partnership we've ever had with any of our vendors, because their philosophy is right. I love their business model. It's we take care of the customers, the profits will come. Instead of how do we make, most publicly traded companies out there have, how do we make the most money off the customers that we have? So that's not what AMA does. And I love AMA. They take care of their issues. If is there low water or high water, they take care of that so fast to make it right. And they're just tremendous people to deal with. And like I say, 99% satisfaction. How can you beat that? You just cannot beat that. So I love that. I wanted to say something, Marcy, and I'm so glad you put that out there. Mimi and I are watching very, very closely the suppliers in our industry that we put our guests on, because this pandemic thing has been really horrible on the vacation industry, as everybody knows, on the entire travel industry, tourism industry. And there are some companies that are in precarious positions right now. There's some smaller companies that have already gone out of business. So we are watching that very, very carefully. And Marcy, when you showed that quote that Rudy said, we pay off all our ships before they hit the water, that you have no debt, so Rudy can sleep well at night. Well, you know what? Mimi and I are the same way. And I like to say we had 32 years in business. We had a really tough first year, as most new businesses do. We've had a really tough last year and a half. But the 29 and a half years in between were great years, wonderful years for Mimi and I. We've been very financially wise and prudent, and we have no debt. Mimi and I own this building that I'm in right now, our office building, 20,000 square feet with 10 other tenants, and we have this building totally paid off. So you don't have to worry about us financially either. We kept 75% of our staff. We had two of our more senior staff, darn it, retire, and I don't blame them a bit. We had two brand new moms. They wanted to take this time to be moms and get out of the working world while they have little ones. I don't blame them a bit either. I think that's fabulous. So we've got almost our entire staff. And what I do want to tell you is there's probably going to be a whole lot, not probably, there will be a whole lot fewer businesses like ours in this wonderful travel industry that are still as service-oriented as we are. Most everybody has gone to not having employees. They've gone to independent contractors. Many of those independent contractors are part-time. I just really, I know I'm selfish, but it's wisdom I'm telling you right now. Be careful. There's no greater time in our 32 years where the risk of making a mistake is greater than it is right now. You do not want to do that. You
Right.
cannot believe. Oh, you can't. And listen, the policies that are there today, like I said earlier, might not be there right before you're ready to go on your trip. The other thing I want you to know, listen, and I love AMA's policies. They said AmaWaterways, because almost all suppliers have their own policies of what they want and require from you as their guest for COVID, for masks, for whatever it might be. But guess what? The countries have their own policies, sometimes different than what the suppliers do. Marcy and AmaWaterways, they were just so great. They said our policies will be what the country's policies are. Isn't that smart? What it should be. But we have to be careful. Airlines sometimes have different policies.
Yes.
So, oh gosh, you guys are so much going on right now. Hey, one other thing. Marcy mentioned the different types of tours and that they're going to have smaller tours, 12 to 14 in a group at the most. I think that's fabulous. 75% of the ship will be maximum capacity for a while. So that's really, really important for you to know. The kind of tours they have, I'll give you what I want to talk about now is, she said the gentle walkers. Well, that's short or code or politically correct for slow walkers. Well, I just tore my meniscus playing with baseball with my grandson, Chavi, and I just went to the orthopedic surgeon today, and he said I have a torn meniscus, and it's partially torn, not fully torn, and so it's not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, thank goodness. But guess what? I am a gentle walker right now.
Yeah.
First time in my married life, I've asked Mimi to slow down, so you're walking too fast. So I understand that, I get that, and I think that's really, really important. The bike riding, the hiking, all of these things. My point to saying all this to you is, whatever kind of tour you're looking for, AmaWaterways has. Their cruise managers. Here's maybe the thing we didn't talk about that we should have talked about most. Their cruise managers, AMA must pay their cruise managers better than other river cruise lines, because their cruise managers are all not just good, they're spectacular. And we have everybody, me included, that goes on one river cruise and says, oh my gosh, Raul was so good there on the Duro River that I want him to go with me on my lower Danube cruise. And I usually call one of the owners. I don't bother Marcy with that, although he says I should. And I call one of the owners. He says, Mark, Raul isn't your best option for the lower Danube. He's your best option for the Duro River. But I said, but I still want him. He said, Mark, everybody tells us their cruise manager is the best, so we can't offer that. We put the manager where they know that area best. And the other thing AMA does that I just love is if you book a pre-hotel package before their cruise, or if it's a post-AMA hotel package after the cruise, that cruise manager will be with you either before, during, and after. I just love that part of it, because you've already built a relationship with he or she, and they are fantastic people.
Yeah.
Marcy, I think I need. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, we have a question. We are booked for a Christmas market cruise that was postponed from last year. What does it look like this year? The Christmas markets are selling very quickly for this year. You can go in and look at the countries. They're already making their plans for the markets. So please don't wait. Call your advisor, because we want to make sure you can get something that you're wanting. So please, yes, book it now. Don't wait.
Really do. And by the way, if any of you that are watching it here tonight, and I know many other people watch this afterwards because it's podcast and we put it on our YouTube channel, but if you have a future cruise credit and you did not book with us, but you have that, if you want to, you are welcome to book with us on that, and we can take care of that. Matter of fact, 30% of our fantastic business for the first 4 months, 5 months of this year, 30%, almost a third, has been new clients that we've never done business with. They have gone through trying to take care of their problems that they had over this past 15 months themselves and said, I'm not going to do that again. They've realized the challenges of being on hold for many hours at a time and not getting very good customer service. So they are trusting us to handle their vacations, and we appreciate that. So yeah, the Christmas markets will go. here's the other thing I want to tell you that will happen, and this is going to happen this year, and it's going to happen for 22 and 23. Remember, limited capacity ships. As the cruise lines see those ships filling up, they will raise their prices. Same way with the airlines, okay? Very, 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 it's just supply and demand. And remember, 15 months, these suppliers that we deal with, AmaWaterways, the airlines, they've been hurting financially. They've lost major money. They're going to want to make that money back as soon as they can, right? And they do that by raising prices. So the sooner you deposit on that, the better. Then let us help you with these risk-free programs that AMA or any of the vendors have. They're smart for you to know these risk-free programs and the insurance, the waivers and all of that they have. This is, to us, really, really, really important. And then we can set you up with additional insurance that has the cancel for any reason, waivers to it. Our goal is to take care of you and make sure that you get the vacation you deserve. Listen, I'll tell you what, Marcy and I are both extroverts, and this has been really hard on us. We're people persons. And Marcy, I am so thankful to know we're going to be getting back on the rivers again.
I know. I am extremely thankful we have the clearance to go and to explore and to see the world again. You know, we've been home long enough. And we had our record-setting year in 18 and a half years in business, record-setting month in March and April. So imagine in your mind, we booked over 8,000 guests, with over 70% of that being new business, not rebooking business. So there is a huge pent-up demand for smaller is better, intimate is better. And so please don't wait. We want you to go, but we don't want you to wait because then you might not be able to go. So.
Hey, and by the way, that's the other thing. If you talk to one of our counselors about a specific river, say it's a Christmas markets, like the question you just had. I've done a couple of Christmas markets. Marcy actually was on one of those wonderful Christmas markets with your owner, Christine Karst. So if you want my input on rivers, on times of the year, on ships, on whatever it might be, countries, let me help you. Pre and post packages. Let me ask your cruise holidays counselor to have me counsel with you. I'll call you on the phone, or we can do email, whatever you like, to review the best options for you. Listen, we want to grow our business. We're the same way as AMA. We're wanting to rebuild our business. And man, it is coming back fast. It's so exciting. But I know you have a lot of questions. Everybody does right now. So let us help you get those questions answered so you have peace of mind on all of these policies, all these situations of what's going to happen. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you, here to service you, just like AmaWaterways. Marcy, you did a great job, and I got to tell you, this just gets me so excited about getting on the rivers again. You know, when we're done here, it's such a beautiful night here in Kansas City. I'm going to go out on Weatherby Lake and get on our pontoon boat that we've named the AmaMimi, and we're going to take well, it's not a river cruise, but it's a lake cruise.
Well, it sounds fun, and that's a beautiful lake. So enjoy the sunset. I wish I was there to share it with you. But everyone, please, if there's anything we can do, know that they provide a customer service level that is second to none. And they can hook you up with someone quickly. It's carefree. They're knowledgeable. They're not ever going to misdirect you. They're going to give you new ideas, which is really what vacations are all about. And I'm a big believer, part of vacationing is the planning process. So please start planning now and don't wait. And we can't wait to see you on the river. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. We appreciate it. Take care of yourself. We want to earn your business.
Thank you.
Adios.